afraid of Monster Skunk when he farts. Monster Skunk turned around and farted this person high into the sky and then dropped him to his death. Monster Skunk walked on and met another man. The man was scared. Monster Skunk asks, "What are you scared of?" "I'm afraid of the Monster Skunk when he shits." Monster Skunk turned around and suffocated the man under a mountain of shit. Monster Skunk walked on. He met a third person whose teeth were chattering with fright. "What are you afraid of?" asked Monster Skunk. "I am afraid of the Monster Skunk when he sprays his fluid." Monster Skunk turned around and drowned him in his fluid. Monster Skunk went on. A woman saw him. Monster Skunk ran after her. The woman threw her all case behind her, crying, "All case, stand up, turn into a mighty forest," and it did. But Monster Skunk farted it out of the way. A woman threw her whetstone behind her, crying, "Whetstone, become a big mountain, a mountain as slippery as you are." The weatherstone turned itself into a slippery mountain, but Monster Skunks farted it away too. A woman threw her basket behind her, crying, "Basket, become a thick hedge." The basket became a thick hedge. Monster Skunk dissolved it with his fluid. A woman threw her water bag behind her, crying, "Water bag, become a great river." The water bag turned itself into a big river. The Monster Skunk swallowed it up. He caught up with the woman and farted her to pieces. Then he went on. A grandmother and her granddaughter saw him coming. "Quick," said the grandmother, "lie down and play dead." This Monster Skunk found them. "I wonder what killed these two," said the monster. He turned the old woman over. He saw her vagina. "Ah," he said, this is the wound that killed her. It must have been made by a big flat knife. Let's see whether she was dead for a long time." He stuck 2 fingers into the old woman's vagina. He smelled them. He said, "This one's already rotting." He then stuck his 2 fingers into the granddaughter's vagina and smelled them, saying, "Ah, this one has not been dead for long. This one is still fresh, but it does not matter. Dead is dead, and I don't eat dead things." He walked on. This old woman and her granddaughter were lucky. The Monster Skunk then came to a place where Bobcat and Coyote had hidden themselves to ambush him. As he went by, they jumped out of their hiding places. Bobcat sprang for Monster's throat and fastened his fangs upon it. Coyote seized Monster Skunk's buttocks and fastened her teeth upon his balls. So they struggled. They bit and clawed, but could not harm Monster Skunk. Coyote was clever. She got a hold of his large, round rock. She stuffed it up Monster Skunk's anus. She stopped him up. His farts could not come out. Nothing could come out. His belly swelled up to a tremendous size until at last Monster Skunk was blown apart by his own farts. The big stink filled the whole country. After it abated, the people held a big feast. Coyote was given the best parts.
Okay, I like that one. That was different.
Thanks, Craig. That's my favorite trickster tale. Okay, I'm gonna read a little bit from Sherman Alexie. His book, The Lone Ranger and Tonto Fist Fight in Heaven. He's a Native American writer, if anyone didn't know. It's hard to be optimistic on the reservation. When a glass sits on the table here, people don't wonder if it's half filled or half empty. They just hope it's good beer. Still, Indians have a way of surviving. But it's almost like Indians can easily survive the big stuff. Mass murder, loss of language, and land rights. But it's the small things that hurt the most. The white waitress who wouldn't take an order. Tonto and the Washington Redskins. That's all. Anyone on the list? Air will be up.
Could have changed the mood there a little bit again. Have all of you here in this room heard of Cindy Sheehan? Cindy Sheehan was the mother of Casey Austin Sheehan. Never heard of her? She was born in 1957. Okay, I'll just read quickly the story here. On April 4, 2004, U.S. Army Specialist Casey Austin Sheehan was killed by small arms fire and a rocket-propelled grenade in Iraq. 2 months later, President Bush met with the parents of the soldiers killed in Iraq and expresses his condolences to Casey's mother, Cindy Sheehan, saying, "Mom, I don't think I can understand your pain." Ms. Sheehan felt outraged at what he considered the president's blasé indifference and pledged that she would do everything she could to protest the war in Iraq. She co-founded Gold Star Families for Peace, an organization of families who lost a son or daughter in Iraq dedicated to ending the war. In August 2005, Sheehan led a vigil near President Bush Ranch in Crawford, Texas. She was accompanied by anti-war activists. She vowed to camp out there until the president met with her to explain why her son was killed and why U.S. troops are still in Iraq even after the administration had acknowledged that the rationale for the invasion, the weapons of mass destruction, was a pretense. When the president refused to meet with her, hundreds of anti-war demonstrators went to Texas to join Sheehan's vigil. As the days went by, more and more supporters showed up, and Cindy Sheehan became an international cause celeb and the focus of media attention. She said to one reporter, "People are dying every day for lies, and one way we can support our troops is to bring them home." Well, before I go to the last part, remember now, President Obama said he would take the troops from Iraq, into Afghanistan. He's about to do this. You know that, right? He's about to do this. Our country is at war, and we sit here celebrating homecoming, all of this stuff, and we are at war, young men are dying, and the protests are going to start again. You just look for it. It's happening, it's going to happen. They're going against Afghanistan. They're going to start soon. You're going to hear it. Cindy Sheehan will be one of them. Well, Cindy Sheehan's daughter is Carly Sheehan. And soon after her brother died, she wrote this poem for him. I'm not a good poet, but I read it as best as I can. Have you ever heard the sound of a mother screaming for her son? The torrential rains of a mother's weeping will never be done. They call him a hero. You should be glad he's won. But have you ever heard the sound of a mother screaming for her son? Have you ever heard the sound of a father holding back his cries? He must be brave because his boy died for another man's lives. The only grief he allows himself are long, deep sighs. Have you ever heard of a father, the sound of a father, holding back his cries? Have you ever heard the sound of taps played as your brother's grave? They say he died so that the flag will continue to wave. But I believe he died because they had oil to save. Have you ever heard the sound of taps played at your brother's grave? Have you ever heard the sound of a nation being rocked to sleep? The leaders want to keep you down so the pain won't be so deep. But if we the people let them continue, another mother will reap. Have you ever heard the sound of a nation being rocked to sleep? As I said, Obama told us that he was going to go in Afghanistan. He is going to go to Afghanistan. And for the next, if he's in there another 7-8 years, we will be at war. You know that, right? You know that. You'll be in graduate school, I don't know where you'll be. But we are going to be at war for the next several years. Don't forget, we are at war.